Hello, welcome to the 7th season of Weather Watch. I'm your host, Matthew Green. During the winter break, many of Millersville's American Meteorological Society members traveled to Phoenix, Arizona to attend the 95th annual AMS conference. During their stay, they attended seminars and met well-known meteorologists. I had the chance to sit down with a few of them and listen to their stories and experiences. What aspects of the conference did you find most exciting?
Well, I had the chance to present my research that I did at my REU program during the summer at Old Dominion University. And I presented this poster during the Student Poster Session conference. And I got a lot of experience as far as meeting professors and them asking me questions involving my research.
One of the parts of AMS was the Weather Ready Nation. And what they did was they brought in scouts and they completed a weather badge, and I was one of the volunteers that helped these scouts complete their badge. I particularly worked with the Girl Scouts because I'm a former Girl Scout myself of 12 years and just wanted to share my passion with them.
Who were some people that you were able to network and interact with?
Among the most influential people I got to meet and speak with in Phoenix was Matthew Parker, and he's a senior meteorologist from a national lab in Aiken, South Carolina. And we basically spoke about how it's good to know the science behind meteorology, but we need people to be able to communicate that to the public in a way that won't necessarily scare them and cause mass hysteria.
So I was able to interact with Bernie Rayno, who is a broadcast meteorologist for AccuWeather, and he's actually from my home area, so he helped me with a lot of tips that could help me in the future of my broadcasting career, like help better with my speech, pronunciation of words, and just my overall delivery of the forecast.
Notable people that I met would include PhD candidate Karita Venable from Howard University. We talked a lot about different internship opportunities for me in the field, especially as a freshman major, and she actually serves as a mentor to me now, ever since I met her at the AMS conference.
One noteworthy person that I met was Dr. Larry Kerry, and he's the head department chair of the Atmospheric Science program at the University of Alabama, Huntsville. And he informed me of all the application processes of graduate school and what to expect and ways to go about to get into graduate school.
First person I met is Marshall Shepard. He is the host of Weather Geeks on Weather Channel. The second person I met was Bruce Doddridge. He actually spoke at our AMS banquet this past year, and he and I spent maybe 20 or 30 minutes talking at our Millersville reception, and we just had a grand old time.
One of the people that I got to meet was Keli Pirtle, a public affairs specialist for NOAA in Norman, Oklahoma, and she sort of talked to me about leading into being a spokesperson, possibly for NWS, NSEP, one of the government agencies within the meteorology field.
What were some of your favorite moments in Phoenix?
My favorite moment actually occurred on our first day there. It was when we were walking through the airport after landing in Phoenix. I've always seen pictures of Phoenix where you're in the valley and then there's these mountains just all surrounding the valley. And for me, seeing that was just surreal.
My favorite part was definitely being able to meet 3 big-name TV meteorologists, Ginger Z, Jim Cantori, and Kate Parker. I found interesting was, they seem like they're very personable on TV, and they're also very personal in person.
Not only being in Phoenix, Arizona for my first time, but also being a part of the audio-visual AMS equipment team, in which I was a student assistant helping run the conference.
What does being hired as a student assistant mean?
As a student assistant, I was assigned to different rooms every day of the conference where presentations and panel discussions were being held. And my job was basically to make sure the presentations ran smoothly, that they were loaded into the database correctly, and also that the audience and the presenters were comfortable in the room setting.
Well, my favorite part of the conference was definitely going to WeatherFest, which is kind of like what we do for Public Weather Awareness Day here at Millersville. And it was really neat to go to the different booths and just see what everybody had to offer. And also, the best part was being able to meet Jim Cantori, which he's definitely my idol, and I've always looked up to him my whole entire life.
One of my favorite moments of the conference was attending the poster session, where I got to see what everyone had to display. Especially my fellow classmates, I got to see what they do in their research outside of the classroom, so that was pretty cool.
The sightseeing was a lot of fun too. We got to climb a mountain and just look at all of Phoenix. It was really cool.
I think one of my favorite moments was the fact that all of us as a senior class got to become a lot closer with one another. There's a couple of us that were not as close, but this conference as a whole definitely brought us closer, and it's a moment that I think none of us will ever forget.
Well, I hope you learned as much as I did about the American Meteorological Society Annual Conference. I want to thank all my peers for letting me sit down with them and hear their stories. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And for all of you watching, thank you, and we'll see you next time.